Hello. What I want to do today is give you a brief introduction and a example of what you can do with Articulate Storyline. So here we have the Storyline program. It's set up very similar to what PowerPoint is in the way of adding new slides and so forth. But the idea is basically to build a storyline for whatever you want to instruct your students on, whether it be a class, seminar, practical, quizzes, information tutorial session. It's pretty much the sky's the limit as to what you could use the program for. So if we have a look at the story view here of this particular module that I've been working on for HMM 103, Cell Technology, you can see that the slides are all integrated and branched off from each other. The branching is slides that are associated with the previous slide, and as they work down through the branches, it's pretty much working your way through the module. So if I was to come into here, we can see we've got the first slide, and as I work my way down, clicking on the different slides, you can see the information that I've entered into it. Adding new slides is quite simple. I'll just go down the bottom here. You can insert new slides. New slides, you have different templates that you can use. You have basic layouts. Okay, you can have ones that you can produce yourself, or you can use the ones that are already associated with the program. You can use quizzes. These can be graded, survey, freeform, draw from blank, or result slides. You can use recordings, so you can do your own recordings and have these on the slides as well, including video recordings, or you can import things directly from PowerPoint or other storyline programs. So that's pretty straightforward. Where it gets a little bit tricky is when you have to add triggers in order to enable a particular slide. Triggers are basically just links, okay, between one slide and another slide, or animations. On this particular slide, I've added hotspots, which you can't see because I've hidden them behind. But when you click on these particular hotspots, it will cause another slide to pop up, which we'll show you shortly. These are the slides that I'm referring to. And what I've done is inserted these particular slides as light boxes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this particular storyline that I've been working on, and I'll give you a look at how it works. Okay, this is the activated storyline. What I've got here is the screen that you would see. This is in a preview mode, so you wouldn't see this information up the top here. Also, I've got the menu activated at the moment just so that I could show you the different slides associated with this particular module. I would normally not have the menu activated, so students can't just flick through anywhere they want. They need to follow it the way it has been designed. We have a volume down the bottom here. Each slide can be narrated if that's what you wish to do, or videos can have their sound volume increased or decreased depending on what students want. You've also got a slider at the bottom here, and the slider is basically the time that's allocated to the particular slides or functions. You can increase or decrease that. You can stop it or you can play it if that's what you wish to do. Students can work their way through. If they've missed something, they can slide back or slide forward in order to see what they've missed, or they can skip through by using the slider. The slide doesn't necessarily jump forward after the slide is finished. It just means that you can't move until the slide is finished. So you may need to slide forward once you've finished taking in whatever's on the slide. So we move our way through on this particular module. As I said, it was HMM 103, which is Cell Technology. It's a first year introduction into cellular physiology for first year biomedical students. So it's at a pretty low level, but it's just to make sure the students have got the concepts from the first practical, and from then on they'll move into more wet sessions. So here we've got the unit outline, or the this particular module, the learning outcomes. So students need to understand mitosis and be able to differentiate or identify cancerous tissues from normal tissues by the level of proliferation that's happening. So anyway, we go through the slides. We've got a little bit of information on the next few slides for students to take in. As you can see, animations and GIFs do work, as do videos. As we work our way through, this is our first pop-up slide. So here what we have is our different buttons that students need to click on in order to bring up information. Now if I just want to go to next, I can't do that. Students must open up each of these in order to progress to the next. slide. So as you click on each of the buttons, a light box opens up with the information that you've supplied for the students about that particular area. So they need to study each of these so they can answer questions that are going to be coming up on the following slides. I'm going to quickly click on them because we don't need to read them. Once that's done, I can then progress. Now here we've got a bit of a quiz for students. This is just a lining up of terms and definitions. So this one's pretty straightforward. I'll quickly jump through this to get it out of our way. These will randomly sort themselves, okay, when you activate the program, so they're not in exactly the same place every time, so students aren't able to just remember where they are in order to match them up. Here we're looking at just some information on mitosis in onion roots. Okay, this is a sorting function. Okay, what the students have to do here is to sort each of these cells into their particular areas, and as they do so, the counters will go up. Okay, so what I will do is I will just quickly pause so I can get this out of the way. Might take 2 seconds. Okay, so we've quickly sorted those ones, and you can see we've got the count here, which students are going to need in order to answer questions in their workbook. We also put in a pop-up here, a light box, so the students can go back and have a look at the individual phases as well, just in case they've forgotten what they did earlier. Now that we've done that, we're able to continue further on. We have a selection of questions that students can click on. They need to answer in their workbooks. Okay, we've got a bit of information here on cancer, showing student statistics associated with the different cancers around the world. Okay, we work our way through these. Okay, brings us up to this next slide here. This one is actually has got a recording with it. Unfortunately, I don't have a speaker on this computer, so you won't be able to hear it. What students need to do here is have a look at these individual petri dishes underneath the microscope. They can do this by just sliding and dropping them on the microscope, and for the purposes of this exercise, these are schematics, but of course you can easily put histological slides on here for students to look at proper tissues, which I've done previously in other modules. And students are able to identify the differences between normal and cancerous tissues by the level of proliferation of the cells, or mitosis. I just need to quickly go through these now so that we can progress. Of course, it's got a trigger on it, which means the students have to have a look at all 6 of these in order to progress to the next task. They also need to take down information. So each of these slides will be narrated, telling students the instructions that are associated with the slides and the information they need to take out of the slides. Again, here we have questions that students need to go through and answer in regards to the slides they've just looked at, the microscope slides or petri dishes. Okay, we go through those. Here we're looking at cell cycle. Okay, and students need to understand the what happens with mitosis and also the duplication of DNA in a cell at different stages of cell cycle. So we've put those in here again as light boxes. Students will be instructed to open each of these, take down notes so they understand what's happening with the different functions they need to do, the pop-ups, reading them, taking notes and so forth. It enforces the information for students. Again, they're tested here. Let's find out what they know. Okay, we do it wrong, it tells us. Okay, we do it right, it also tells us. So we'll put in the right answers here. It'll let us move to the next slide. Okay, we now want to talk about apoptosis and what happens with apoptosis. Again, working our way through. A little bit of information here on facts analysis. We're now asked about the cell cycle during facts analysis, tested by facts analysis. Okay, so we can put these in. Put them in the wrong place again. It tells us. Okay, we need to reset it and do it again. Okay, so there are different phases. We've got a question here that students must read before they can progress. The rest of them won't be able to. And okay, we can move on to the next slide. little bit more information here, asking about what's happening with apoptosis and what's happening in this particular fax. And it brings us through to what would be a wrap-up of this particular module and our references associated with the module. There's still a few things to happen with this one. We need to put in the a couple of animations, a couple of videos, and some quizzes, and then I'll narrate the slides. So this was just to give you a brief outlook at what you can do with Articulate Storyline. Once this is activated, once it's published, okay, it's almost like a interactive a PowerPoint or YouTube almost sort of thing. As you can see, you can drag different bits and pieces around, and that's what students can do. Once it's published, you get a URL which you can then put into a public folder or put up on your unit on iCloud. Students can just click on this and take them directly to the file, which opens automatically. It is available on for both Apple and for PCs, and you can also open them up on iPad as well on a mobile unit. Okay.